I'm gonna do an insight today. I haven't done one for a few weeks. Just been sort of like integrating a lot of different sort of like frequencies and energy within my sort of like within my own sort of frequency. A lot of this is going on for a lot of people at the moment. That we're all integrating this new states of consciousness and this new awareness, and we're starting to align with different frequencies. And this is happening for many of us at the moment as we start to open up. um, and I was going to sort of like talk about like consciousness and creation, and I'm going to talk about like source. But what does this really mean in our lives? You know what I mean? A lot of us sort of like are still living, sort of like we have an awareness, but we're still living like in a sense, that out there sort of reality where we're seeing things sort of still happen to us and affect us. And sort of like some of these sort of like through what I'm feeling lately, especially around sort of like creation and consciousness, it's like, well, what can we do as beings within our own frequency, within our own energy, to start to align with source energy and open up our consciousness? One of the things that I do regularly is I just like start by breathing, but I breathe through my center in here, and when I feel like when I do this, I breathe in sort of like a deep breath, and the energy goes into my center, and then something shifts or aligns within my own energy, within my own frequency, and it expands my consciousness. And I feel like as soon as I take that deep breath in, what happens then is I shift consciousness from the external to the internal, and as soon as that happens, then what I do is I feel this frequency. And the purpose of doing this is like, it's all right talking about like consciousness, and it's talking about source energy, and it's talking about um, sort of like different dimensions and realities. But how do you, as a being here now, access that? So talking about like the sort of like practices and tools of how you actually do that is a key part to this, to start to feel your own frequency, to feel your own source energy, feel your own creator and like creation within you. And this is what this time and age is all about. It's about feeling and living from the within you, because you are this creation, you are creator, and all reality work expresses through you, as you, and for you. And this is all sort of like aspects of like self-realization. And I think this is really important because it's all right talking about other worlds and other dimensions, and whether you align to those or not. It's like, how do you access that within the here and now, within this now moment, which is where all creation and all like yeah, all creation, all frequency, all reality is created from here now. There's only the now moment, and this is what people talk about and deem as like oneness. It's the frequency that you are, and it's like the consciousness that you are here now. And it's like, this is why sort of like I'm doing this today, is just to try and give some tools, so for people to start to breathe into their own consciousness, into the here now, this this now moment, this oneness. Because once you start to feel it, then you can build it, and you can start to then build that reality of being in that oneness, and knowing that everything is always available in that now moment, that nothing is separate from you. And this is one of the key things about this time and age, is about separation. We're still living in an age of separation. We're still living in a time, and I feel this is what, the beings that are working and guiding with us are trying to bring to us in this time and this age. Is there's no separation, never has been. And this is again one of the principles where it says, you're everything you wish to be, you already are. It's saying that you're always connected in this now moment. There's no separation. And this is the point and purpose of talking about this. So like I was saying, one of the practices I do is I breathe right in, and I take the energy into my center. And as I do this, I feel like a warmth, a glow, and I start to feel a vibration, and I start to feel like a frequency of energy. And if you try this at home, try it and see how you feel. There's other ways of doing it where you breathe in, and you can feel like your chakra, you like your third eye, or your crown chakra. But I feel it through the center when I do it. And when I do it, then I start to feel this vibration, this frequency, and that's sort of like what that does. It shifts my consciousness from out there, which is in the 3D reality, into the in here reality, into my own frequency, my own energy, which is where you start to access the fourth dimensional consciousness, and the fifth dimensional. And I'm talking about these dimensions because the dimension of like the fourth dimension is about transformation. So when you're talking about transformation, it's like the understanding that you are a frequency, all energy works through you, as you, and for you, and that you are the creator of this reality. So you can transform everything in the now moment. There's no separation. Uh, there's never been any separation. You know, whether you're in, whether this like these universal teachers, these guides, these beings that live in a different like reality or a different frequency, there's no separation because they are you and you are them. And the key to being in this reality, in this time, in this age, in this moment, is the understanding there's no separation. So you know that you can access that infinite vibration, the frequency, which is the source energy, which is the now moment, which is oneness. So breathing in, you start to enter into transformation. You understand that you can transform your reality, your life, and it all works through you, as you, and for you, and it's working with you. It's not working against you. It works for you. The universe is is you, and you are the universe. You are creation, and creation is you. This is the I am principle that many beings talk about, and they talk about the sense of this understanding that I am, and the I am presence. Well, the I am presence is the understanding of consciousness and creation, and that you are consciousness and creation in pure form in this time, in this moment, right here, right now. And so the fourth dimension is about transformation, as like the out there-ness is about 3D reality, and it sees things in a sense of like 3D reality is a physical reality that is separate from you, which is out there, and you believe it's happening to you. As when you shift to transformation and the understanding of the fourth dimension, you understand things are happening for you, through you, and as you. And you also understand that you are you transform reality through your own consciousness, your awareness. And this is what creates your reality. And so living within and the understanding of moving into transformation in the fourth dimension, you understand things are available and you can transform and shift and align things, and you're not separate. You're one. You're always in that one moment. You're always part of that oneness creation. So the breathing in is taking your consciousness, expanding it, but also aligning with your vibration, your frequency, your creator within you. And you understand within that now moment that's all that exists. Nothing else externally external things exist. All that exists is you and your vibration and your consciousness. And when you understand that, you understand that all things are coming through, through you, for you, and as you, but they're also a reflection of what you're creating. So you understand then that all reality is only a reflection of your vibration, your frequency you're creating in that now moment. So nothing is separate, and nothing is separate from you, because it's all of it is you. You know, so then you start to understand that, you know, if you feel stuck in life, it's because of what you're creating, what you're reflecting. But in that moment, that beautiful moment of where you come in and you enter transformation, you understand you can dissolve it. There's always a choice to how you're expressing reality. Now, you may feel stuck, but there's another way of looking at that. You know, you then open up your consciousness, you open up your awareness to see that you can actually, then you're not stuck. There's no limitation. What you need to do is create something through you, as you, and for you, but you need to go into that now moment within you and start to shift the way you're thinking about things, see it differently. Because only when you open up your consciousness do you allow new potentials and new sort of like opportunities to come in, because they're waiting. That when they're not waiting, they're there. They've always been there. It's just you have to be open, and open up your consciousness and open up your frequency to allow them to flow in. Because if you resist something, you resist everything. So this is another thing, is when you're resisting something, you're resisting all things. So it's an understanding that you need to be open to the infinite potentials and let the energy flow within, and when it does, then it will align. And being in that natural state of transformation, and then the fifth dimension, which is like alignment, was like the fifth dimension is like creation and consciousness, but it's also alignment with uh, with with oneness and the frequencies of like the union with like creation and consciousness. You understand that you know that you're the creator of your own reality. And also, like, then when people say like heaven on earth, what they're really talking about is fifth dimensional reality. You're creating the reality that is aligned with your infinite self, or your true nature. And so the fifth dimension is about that. It's about creation. It's about the understanding that things are there, that they're available, that nothing, that everything it is in this now moment. It has infinite potential and is available to you. I mean, in the fifth dimension, you understand that all things are one, but all things are available. All things are aligned, and nothing is separate from you. And that you can, in that moment, um, create and sort of like create and align to bring sort of like a reality within this moment. Like heaven on earth is creating the reality, and you creating a reality that is aligned with your true nature, with your dreams, with your aspirations, with your inspiration. All those kind of things are available in the fifth dimension, because you know there's no limitation, that all things are working for you, through you, and as you. And again, it's like, this is why it's important to sort of shift your consciousness and go from the external consciousness to the internal consciousness. I like, when I go to work, and at a lot of the times I try and set my frequency to walk to work, when I go to work, but also see there's no separation. It's like, for me, it's like, one of the things that I've been doing lately is like, is checking my frequency wherever I am. And what I mean by this is, um, to be consciously aware. And like, this is when I've done a lot of sort of like insights in the past around like source energy and source expression. Well, this is what I'm talking about. Source is always with you, as the eternal now moment is always with you. So what we do in reality and what we do in life is, we shift between the internal to the external, from the 3D to the fourth dimension. And how we do that is we sort of like separate ourselves consciously by seeing ourselves differently in different environments, even though it's still the now moment. That now moment is infinite. And when we shift consciousness, like from the 3D to the 4D, or like from external to internal, then our reality changes, and our feelings change, and our thoughts change, and our energy changes. So what we do is we see like home, like for me, like, so I use myself as an example. At home is a harmonious place. It's like heaven on earth, because it's like there's no stress, there's no worry in that sense, because it's like this frequency where I'm being me, I'm being my true self at home. But then we go to work, and then when we go to work, we shift our consciousness from that internal reality to the external reality, where we go in and we play a role, or we see external things happening in work. So we lose that vibration of the now moment, of being in the now moment, because we've shifted to the external world and the external stresses and strains of being at work. But we see work as separate from home. So we've already separated our consciousness, we've already separated our frequency, we've already separated our vibration. As at home, we're in this fifth dimension, fourth dimension of being, like creator and creation. And then we've gone to work and we've shifted into the 3D dimension, and then we sit there all day in a third dimension. So what I've been doing at work, and what I've been trying to do a lot with my own consciousness and my own awareness, is staying in the internal frequency wherever I go. So if I'm driving, I just breathe in, shift into the internal frequency to allow the energy to flow, and live and express from that internal vibration and frequency. So as I'm driving, I'm trying to be consciously within myself. And then when I go to work, when I walk through that door, I try and keep that vibration as well. So it's trying to keep that vibration so that you're always within that sort of fourth dimension, and that inner vibration, that crater, realizing and consciously having the awareness that you are always in that eternal moment, and you are always in that inner world of frequency where you are the creator of your own creation, of your own reality. So each thing that comes up, if something impacts you at work, then it impacts you. But if you're in that inner vibration, that inner frequency, and you're consciously aware, and you're breathing in to remain in that frequency, then you know that you can dissolve it, you can align it, you can then sort of transform it or transmute it to something different. Transmutation is taking an energy frequency, or going from one state of being to another. Like we transmute when we move from this earth to other dimensions of reality. We transmute, we go from one state of being or state of consciousness to another state of consciousness. And it's the same here. What those kind of rules, and not those rules, but those kind of realities are available here. You're available here as well as they are there. There's just different frequencies to it, but they're all part of the same oneness, and now moment, and it's being consciously aware that you can always shift and change your reality, and you can remain within your inner reality. And all it means is the more you create it, the more you create that inner reality of what you are, the more that becomes your reality, because you focus on it, and then it becomes your true reality. It becomes your consistent reality. So this is where these tools are important, and this is where us taking time is really important, to remain more conscious and more aware, within our realities, and not see that things are happening to us, but they're happening for us, through us, and as us. They're never happening to us because there's always a choice. There's never separation because there's always the now moment. And when we start to live like that, we start to then express and bring things into reality that are more aligned with our infinite self and our true self. And a lot of it is is just starting to create that, consistently within our reality. And the more we do that, the more we become aligned. Well, that's the insight for today anyway. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Any comments are great. Even if somebody wants to comment like what they're doing, or if any of this makes sense to you, and if you feel like there's any questions about consciousness or reality, please post them, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. All right, have a great day.